Hi, Luvuyo. Welcome. We're just waiting for a few more people, then I'll get started. We're just having network issues with one of my colleagues. You're the first one. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We're actually supposed to start like, oh, there's my, yes, Coach Yanga. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Can I just wait like for 1 more minute or 2 more minutes and then I'll get started. I'm hoping for my colleague to also just immediately join because he was going to inform some of his viewers that we had changed the settings a bit. So can I just have like 1 more minute or 2 more minutes of your time, then I'll get started on my side. Okay. Thank you, Yanga, for the update. Thank you. I needed that confirmation actually. So 25 past. It's only 1 more minute and I'll start. Thank you so much for taking the time. Okay, I'm gonna have to start. I don't like to keep people waiting. Okay, so today we're supposed to be, so I'll probably keep talking as a we because it was supposed to be myself and my colleague having this dialogue. So the dialogue we're supposed to be having today is how to get out of your comfort zone. It's a topic that I've spoken about on my YouTube channel, and we just wanted to get more people involved in it, in the conversation, and hopefully get questions that I was going to try and answer in this segment or this interview. So since we're having technical issues and we postponed from yesterday, I think it's only fair that we just continue today, and I'll have to do it by myself. Okay, so my name is Veliswa Chia. I currently go by the title of a content creator and speaker. My professional background is in retail. I was previously a merchandise planner for brands such as Woolworths, Foschini, and the House of Busby. Oh, hi. Welcome, Nerine. I was a merchandise planner, as I was saying, for brands such as Woolworths, Foschini, and the House of Busby. That's my professional background. It's primarily in retail. But I've since moved from there, and I'm now more focused on speaking and coaching and training, personal development. So as I said, today we are doing a talk on getting out of your comfort zone. So the first question that my colleague was supposed to be asking me is give my own personal interpretation of what is a comfort zone. And from my own understanding and my own interpretation, a comfort zone is a settled method of operating that allows us to maintain the status quo of our lives. The comfort zone is highly automatic and monotonous, and is highly focused on maintaining a certain comfort or ease. So one of the primarily important things to understand about the comfort zone is its need for maintenance of comfort. It's always trying to protect a certain comfort. So that's what I want to drive home in terms of what is a comfort zone and why people cling on to it so much. That is the first question. The second question was how does one get hooked, or how does one get locked into the comfort zone? I think primarily there are 2 ways that people get locked into the comfort zone. The first way people get locked in is habit. Our habits are automated behaviors that we have, and they can be the best of things, our habits, and the worst of things. The time when it's the best of things is when it's serving us to become the best version of ourselves. It's when our habits are helping to elevate us and bring us closer to the version where we want to be, a more higher version of ourselves. The time when our habits are not helping us, is when they are actually helping protect our comfort zone. That's when they are not really helping us. So, because as I said in the interpretation of what is the comfort zone operates highly automatically. So our habits also operate that way. Our habits are automatic behaviors. So that's why they help feed the comfort zone. And that's the first thing that gets people locked into the comfort zone. The second thing that gets people locked into the comfort zone is fear. Fear is an incredible driver. We all feel fear, but we each get to determine how much we let fear determine our lives. And when you operate in the comfort zone, you could actually be letting fear dominate a little too much in the operations of your life. We all have certain fears. A number of people fear embarrassing themselves or disappointing people around them. They don't want to do things that are going to make people look at them in a negative way or think less of them. This is a really big driver of the decisions that they make. They make decisions based on not wanting to embarrass themselves, embarrass people around them, disappoint people around them. And majority of our fears are imagined situations in our head. Doesn't actually mean that just because we are scared of it is actually real. A lot of it is highly imagined. But unfortunately, even though it's imagined, it still has the power to hold people hostage. So a lot of people will not move forward or even try to challenge their comfort zone because they're held back by fear, because these imagined situations or these imagined scenarios in their head are so powerful that people would rather stick with what they know, maintain the comfort zone, rather than challenge it and seek more. So the things that make people locked into the comfort zone are primarily habits, which are automatic behaviors, and fear, which are imagined scenarios where we are at a detrimental position. So those are the two key things that make people stay in their comfort zone: habit and fear. That's the second question. The third question that my colleague sent me was, what are the common outcomes of people living in their comfort zone? The common outcomes, the first really big common outcome is that people never discover who they truly are. What happens in the comfort zone is highly focused on protecting a certain ease or comfort. So because you are highly focused on protecting this, you never want to go too far. You never want to go out a lot of your comfort zone. Unfortunately, we don't discover ourselves in this protected sphere. We don't discover who we are. We don't know how far we can go. You don't discover yourself in a cocoon. I always say you discover yourself in the field of life. And the field is outside of your comfort zone. It's out there. It's where the adventure happens. It's where the struggle happens. It's where the challenges happen. So because you are so focused on protecting or maintaining a certain comfort, people refuse to step out of their comfort zone and go to the field of life so that they can see how far of themselves they can actually come across. When you go out into the field of life, you're going to be meet with challenges. You're going to be meet with different people and with different personalities who have different beliefs from you. But that is so important that you meet those differences and those oppositions so that you can be fully clear on exactly where you stand. When you are operating in your comfort zone, you are not challenged by anything. So all your beliefs, everything that you think, it's typically standard. No one says, actually, have you thought about it a different way? But when you go out of life, when you go out into the field of life, you will run into a lot of opposition. You will run into a lot of challenge. And you must stick up for yourself. You must stand and say, this is what I am about. And you're going to be challenged for that. And you're going to be challenged for that approach. But you will also find that there's a lot that you didn't know. And there's a lot of discovery in this field of life. There's a lot of understanding of yourself in a way that you would have never understood yourself if you had kept yourself locked into that comfort zone. The field of life introduces you to things or yes, it introduces you to things that are not available in your comfort zone, and those things can help expand you as a person. They can help expand you. You may go out and discover that you actually resonate very well with certain groups of people who are not available in your comfort zone. You may go out and discover that you resonate very well with a particular culture which may not have been available in your comfort zone. And then you realize that you feel more, how can I say, more connected to those people, or more connected to those cultures, more connected to that certain way of doing things. And that's how you discover more about you. In this field of life, I actually resonate this way. In this field of life, I actually respond this way. A lot of people, we may sometimes believe that maybe you think that you are shy, or you have this default belief that has been allowed to exist by your comfort zone. But you go out into the field of life and you discover that actually you're not a shy person. You just never had the opportunities that the field of life presents. So there's so much discovery, and unfortunately you will never have that opportunity to discover so much about yourself should you try and maintain this comfort zone. The second point of the outcomes of living in the comfort zone, the second point that may be an outcome is despair. I once read this article that was talking about patients in a hospice. And these patients were interviewed by one of the nurses, and this nurse asked them what are some of the things that they wish they had done. I think there's actually even a book about these series of interviews called Wishes of the Dying. You can actually look for that book. But I read the article about this book, and they were talking about these wishes that people who were going to die, actually, they were like living in their and you would find from reading the article that the majority of the wishes people have are all centered around courage. They're not centered around that they wish they had more money. They're not centered around that they wish they had worked longer hours. They wish they had stayed in that job. All of their wishes are all centered around courage. People wish they had the courage to live their lives according to who they are. It was the number one wish that people had, that in their dying days, I can't imagine if I'm 90 and I only discover in my 90s that I didn't live my life according to my truth. And that was what this article was, what the number one wish that people in this article, these patients were communicating, that is their number one wish. They wish they had had the courage to live their lives in according to who they are, as opposed to living their life according to the expectations of others. And I think that is all centered around fear. That is all centered around fear. So, as I said, we all feel fear, but to live your whole life not having had any honesty with yourself, that I can't imagine how difficult that is, especially when you know that you are in your last days. The second wish that people had, according to this article, people had the wish that they had expressed their feelings more. They felt like they didn't express how they felt to people that they loved. And this is something that they can't get over in their last days. So I truly feel that when you operate in that comfort zone, you don't want anything that's going to give you a lot of anxiety, or that's going to demand that you be courageous. And so I would imagine that a lot of people who choose to maintain their comfort zone would have similar wishes in some point in their lives, that they wish they had been more vocal about how they felt. They wish they had been more honest with themselves in terms of how they want to live their lives, and had pursued that. So I truly do believe that one of the outcomes stepping out of your comfort zone is that you may run across those types of despairs in your older days, that you wish that you had lived your life according on your own terms. And so those are some of the things that you can expect should you not try to break away from your comfort zone. You can expect despair. and you can expect little discovery and understanding of self. And I think those are two of the most primarily important things that you can expect should you be determined to maintain your comfort zone. I just want to see if I have a third point. The third point is what are the outcomes of not pursuing or challenging your comfort zone. I think the third outcome is that you never expand. We don't expand in our comfort zone. There's no challenge there. Unfortunately, humans are like muscles. I may have like these arms, and this may be my standard size of my arm. But my muscles are capable of so much. They can expand to great weight or a great size. But unfortunately, if I don't train the muscle, if I don't push the muscle, if I don't put the muscle under pressure, it will always maintain the same size. Same thing with us. If we don't put pressure on ourselves, we don't challenge ourselves, if we don't push ourselves to be more, we remain in the same position. And that's what happens when you don't fight to get out of the comfort zone, when you don't take on the challenge of being present in your life. Because I truly do believe the more you become present in your life and stop operating from this automatic space, the more you go out of your comfort zone, the more you come out of your comfort zone. But you have to be present in your life. You have to be in charge of your life and stop letting your life be an automatic event. So those are some of the things that I think would be the outcomes of people who rely on the safety of the comfort zone. The fourth question is, who is likely to be locked into the comfort zone? People who I think would be likely to be locked into the comfort zone are people who allow themselves to give into fear. As I said in one of the other questions, we all experience fear, but we get to decide how much of it do we let define our lives. So people who would be locked in comfort zones are people who don't want to challenge their fears, are people who don't like resistance. When you try to go out of your comfort zone or stop operating in an automatic way, you're going to run into a lot of resistance. A majority of this resistance is you trying to break habits and trying to break beliefs. So this you would experience, I'm trying to actually imagine, if for example you have an automatic way of, let's say you wake up every day at 8 o'clock, should you decide that what is better for you is to wake up at 5 so that you can have more physical activity, your mind and your body is going to have resistance to that idea. It's going to have resistance to that activity because it's new to it. It's not part of its norms. It's not part of its habits. So there's going to be that fight between what you want when you're trying to come out of your comfort zone and where your mind currently is. So you should expect resistance when you're trying to come out of your comfort zone. But if you fear that resistance, or to submit to that resistance, then you're always gonna try and maintain your comfort zone. A lot of people, I always speak about this, people are highly fearful of standing up for their beliefs. They're highly fearful. I would like to give the example of, let's say there's 20 people here and there's a question that is asked, and one of the people, I'll give one of the people on the chat is Noreen. Let's say Noreen knows the answer Noreen thinks she knows the answer to the question posed, but Noreen doesn't feel like she wants to say the answer. She feels like it's fine, someone else can give the answer. You see, because she doesn't want the feeling of being wrong. She doesn't want to take the chance of giving an answer and meanwhile it's not the correct answer. So she would rather play it safe and wait for someone else to give the answer. Meanwhile, she thinks she might know it. Even the person who is giving that answer was also probably not 100% sure, but they think it's worthwhile to give the answer. But Noreen feels safer saying that I think I know it, but I'm not sure and I don't want to embarrass myself, or people are going to think I'm stupid, what are people going to think? So she never takes the chance. So that ability for her to sit back even when she wants to try will continue. She'll continue doing that every time there's an opportunity to try or to do something. She'll feel, because she's gonna do that repeatedly, it's gonna become a habit. So every time she wants to try something, she'll keep being held back by this voice that says, what are people going to think? What if I say something stupid? What if I'm not right? Then that becomes habitual in her. Then that after becoming habitual, it will start controlling her. It will start becoming a really deep fear in her, and she won't want to speak up, and she'll continue this life of thinking things but never saying them because she fears embarrassing herself. So that is one of the driver of people who get held into the comfort zone. It's people who are highly fearful. The fifth question is, the last question is, how can we help people living in a comfort zone? Actually, my first response to this question, I was more trying to give a response that kind of motivates people, inspires people. But I realized, but I actually took a moment back and actually thought about the times in my life where I've tried to do that, where I've thought a person is capable of so much more, and I think that they can do it. And I have that personality of people who want people to become more because I think they're so capable. But I realized that you can only help a person come out of the comfort zone if that's what they want. They have to first believe that they deserve more. So in terms of helping a person come out of their comfort zone, you have to first try and understand, does this person believe they deserve more? And then you can help them from that point. As I said before, I have a personality that wants to help people and always believe people are highly capable. But I've come to understand that if the person doesn't believe that they deserve more, if the person is not willing to take on the challenge, no matter how much I may believe or that they deserve more, no matter how much I may try to encourage and model, it is not an interest to them. So I should only engage with people and try to help them when they have indicated that they believe they deserve more. So only then would I try and help people. But I would not encourage people when you think someone should come out of their comfort zone, you initiate things for them. You can't help people who don't think they need help. So you have to first, to help a person come out of their comfort zone, first get an indication from them. Do they believe they deserve more? And then when they make that indication that they do, then you can help them. But I would not suggest that you try and come up with a plan to help people. As I said, people, you can't help a person who doesn't believe they need help. You can only help a person when they've made an indication that they think they need help. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the comfort zone talk that I was going to have with my colleague that I've now managed myself. But it's really centered around helping people understand what is the comfort zone and why people get so locked into it. And in terms of actually even trying to get out, I'd really encourage an analysis of understanding what do you fear and why do you fear it so much. You know, there's so many fears that I always say. People have fears that don't belong to them. A lot of people who fear the opinions of other people, they didn't naturally carry that fear. They adopted that fear from other people. So if you take the time, if you want to come out of the comfort zone and you just haven't figured out how to do it, one of the things that is easily identifiable about people who get locked in the comfort zone is fear. So I'd really encourage you to analyze some of your fears, analyze some of the reasons why you are struggling to help yourself get out, because there's so much more. there's so much more out there. There's so much discovery waiting for you. So you have to try and sit back with yourself and analyze why you are not fighting for yourself to come out more. Why you're not taking up the challenge? Where are those fears coming from within yourself? And when you've analyzed that, then you can start working through those fears, and hopefully that could lead you to trying to challenge your comfort zone more. And this is just a last question. My colleague wanted me to share what are some of my social media platforms. I'm available on Instagram as Vevetia, and I'm available primarily in terms of speaking and teaching and engaging in this manner. I'm available on my YouTube channel, which is Veliswatia, and that's primarily the platform that I use to communicate more in this fashion. I do weekly videos that talk about personal development and how to make yourself into the best version of yourself. So if you ever wanted to find anything like that, it's available on my channel. But that would have been our closing for our talk in terms of what we would have discussed, myself and my colleague. He really would have loved to engage in this topic, and I'm pretty sure he would have had a lot of questions in terms of what I'm responding and what I'm saying. But unfortunately, the network hasn't been very kind to us. So I thank you so much for your time. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I would really appreciate if you guys would give me any questions that I'd love to answer, or if you guys need me to clarify anything, I would really love to. So I'm just going to give you guys like 5 minutes. Someone, if they have a question, they can please just share it, and I'll answer it on the chat. I see there's Coach Younger, there's Nereen, there's Illuminate Blog. Does anyone have a question for me that I could try and answer? No? No one has a question. Okay. Then I presume that would be the end of the chat. But I am available on all my social medias that I've said. So I'm available on Instagram, I'm available on actually also Facebook as Veliswatia. I'm available on YouTube. So if you have any questions, I can still answer them on those platforms. I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us and join myself on this live chat, and I hope it's been highly valuable and fruitful for you. Myself and my colleague do want to continue doing these live chats. If you guys would like to give us any topics that you'd like us to cover, that would be great, and we can, myself and my colleague, discuss that for the next live chat. So I thank you so much for your time, and that's it for me. Thank you so much. Signing out. Bye. Hi, Luendo. Unfortunately, we're done, honey. But I will save this video and share it in one of these platforms, and I'll tell everyone where I've saved it. I thank you so much again. Bye.